Well, there is a lot to do when running your own coaching business, though, and it can be overwhelming and even stressful at times. So surely overworking is just a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Especially when you first, I think, set up a business before you're used to it, it can be stressful and it can be overwhelming. And it is a little bit part and parcel of it. But when we're in that state, that's the time that we need to be looking after ourselves the most. That's the time where the self-care is so essential. And, you know, I touched on it earlier. It's a habit that's triggered by stress and overwhelm. And you know, other habits can get triggered in that time. So whether that's, you know, over drinking or overeating or shouting, there's so many habits that people can have. But for some people, that just happens to be overworking. That is their go-to habit. The problem with it is that the more you work, the tireder you get. And so the more stressed and overwhelmed you get. And so the more you work, and it literally is a vicious circle that can be really hard to stop if you don't at some point, you know, put those brakes on. And you know, like so many people say, when they have a bit of time off, when they go on holiday, they have all these thoughts and think, right, you know, I'm not going to do that when I get home. I'm not going to work like I used to. This is much better feeling like this. But it's so easy to get back into that habit if that's always your go-to, what you do when you're stressed. So it's breaking that cycle is the important bit.
I find it fascinating how you differentiate between when things are initially a startup and once you've got used to it, because I haven't reflected on that myself, but I definitely feel, thinking about it now, it is very different when everything is you and you honestly don't really know what you're doing in a lot of areas, because suddenly running a business means that you're doing a lot of different roles, which previously you've probably only done a handful of at best, in whatever you specialised in. So suddenly we've got all these different hats to wear, and it is a bit scary and exciting, but it can very easily be overwhelming, and that is different to getting into the rhythm and when you know what you're doing, and you can have probably a lot more control, I imagine. But I haven't reflected on that before. That's a very good observation.
Yeah, and it's probably observation a lot from my personal journey as well, you know. So definitely I had that feeling of, you know, one of the reasons I became a coach is I wanted to narrow my focus. I had quite a wide ranging job before, and I thought, let's just focus on one thing. Wouldn't that be amazing? And of course, once I started, I was like, oh, no, I don't get to coach all day. You know, it's the sales and the marketing and the meeting people and all things that I've learned to really enjoy. But yes, there's so many hats to wear. And it's that constant overthinking of, am I doing the right thing? And I think over time experience, you start to learn what the right thing is, or you start to learn it doesn't matter, everything's learning and it giving a go, and it changes a bit. But in that beginning bit, I think the overwhelm is bigger. But that's not to say you could have run your business for, you know, tens of years, and that stress and overwhelm can still come up. Maybe more stress than overwhelm as you get more experienced, I think. But yeah.
Yes, but definitely it's still a factor. I think it just reveals itself in different ways, perhaps.
Yeah.
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 Interesting observation.